and we're unlocking the keys to the mysteries, and today we're going to be talking about a holographic culture. Now, the name Holographic Culture is the name of the book which I've been working on. I've been working on this book for 8 years, so it's a very comprehensive study of angelic beings which fall under the general rubric of the jinn, of interdimensional entities. It is also important to emphasize here that these interdimensional entities can also control the waveform. So we are actually dealing here with beings which have spiritual properties, but they can also materialize physically. So we're going to be discussing some of these issues in this short broadcast today. So if we look at the term holographic culture and we look at where it originates from, we find that it originates from the Greek term holographos, which is coming from the Greek word holos, which means owl, and graphos, which is writing. Okay, so here we're talking about the holographic waveform, and this links into subject areas such as the soul pattern. So the definition of a holographic culture specifies any advanced culture that has disassembled the mechanics of reality. So here we're really talking about wave-particle duality. Okay, and these entities are multidimensional, so they can dematerialize, but they also exist physically within the material universe. So these entities also have complete mastery over time and space. So they're not actually confined to one time period. They can disassemble themselves from the physical construct of time, and also they can disassemble themselves from space. They're advanced beings. They operate within a culture very much similar to ourselves. They have technologies which allow interplanetary transportation, time travel, teleportation. Now, these beings in the Bible, they're referred to as the Elohim. And the Elohim is a Hebrew word which really means the high ones. But the Elohim are interesting because really when you begin to deconstruct the word Elohim, you find that the word comes under two general definitions. So you have the Elohe, which is a living God, but the word is polymorphic, so this falls under polymorphic symbolism. The term Elohe also means a high creature. And these high creatures, when they are dematerialized, they are known as the Ruach Elohim, which are the high spirits. The spirits themselves can be understood as the jinn. So, in other words, the Elohim themselves are a type of jinn. Now, obviously, within Islamic exegesis, the angels and also the Elohim themselves are often defined as being a separate species from the jinn. But when we begin to break down the etymologies, this argument itself is a very tenuous argument. Now, a holographic culture, they can reside between worlds, and they reside in pockets which are known as quantum states. They coexist or can coexist simultaneously within the physical and spiritual planes. So in other words, they possess the technologies in order to be able to dematerialize. They possess the technologies in order to be able to time travel. So the Elohim themselves are very similar in terms of they're very similar to how you would define an alien being. They have these kind of properties which cross over within the flying saucer and flying saucer phenomenon. And this is something which in this series of lectures which I really want to discuss. To sum up, all of these beings, whether it's the seraphim, whether it's the Elohim, they can move between states. They can be both materialized both physically and non-physically. And they are also linked in the occult and particularly within the Apocrypha tradition to actually planting star seeds or living souls into mortal bodies. In contemporary parlance, this would be a walk-in, but in the ancient languages, it was actually referred to as planting living souls into mortal bodies, which can be understood as star seeds. So in other words, the Elohim have the ability to manipulate soul technology. And again, if we look at the idea that the soul exists through multiple time frames, it is actually possible, or certainly the Gnostics themselves believe, that the soul could be materialized into the past or into the future. So in other words, when a person dies, when they enter what you could loosely describe as the dream time, which is the spiritual realm, this soul can be cast back into the past, or it can be incarnated into the future. And the Angelians, as I refer to them, which is coming from the Aramaic word Zah, which is an alien, but is polymorphic. It also means an angel. So the Angelians, which is a very correct translation of the word Za, they control the spirit realms, and so they are able to communicate telepathically, non-locally, and they understand the waveform, which is very much linked in to spirit technology, which is linked into the Aeon, which is the holographic universe. And we see that this communication between these entities are also found within near-death experiences and shamanic experiences. So loosely, this is what holographic culture is talking about, my book. It's looking at the deconstruction between the angelic beings, which are known as the Elohim, as the Seraphim. It looks at the human angels as well, because obviously within the ancient world they made a distinction between human and non-human angels, which was a Seraphim tradition, and the cherubim. The cherubim are proto-human angels. This links in the esoteric tradition to the in the esoteric tradition, this links into the demarcation of knowledge between alien knowledge and human knowledge, and links into the idea of panspermia and the planting of the seed by the Elohim, which is something which we will discuss next. That's basically the end of this little short section, and as always, let's make the world a better place. Thank you for listening. This is Pierre Sabak.